Let us begin with a moment of silence. Thank you. Few changes on the agenda this morning. Our newest residents are not here to be introduced. Adam is in an interview. We'll have to come back to him. So we're going to start with Sarah in marketing.
All right, well, good morning. Okay, I just have a couple of quick announcements, so we'll just make this really short today. This Friday is our Halloween trunk or treat. Thank you if you've already put candy in the donation box. We've got quite a bit. It's great. Keep it coming. If anybody wants to come help out, you can sign up out front. You don't have to have a car or a costume. Just come help. Also, the last week of October, we're going to be asking for your help again. We have a photo shoot and an open house. So we'll be making calls to get volunteers. And Chris and Kevin are going to give you some data from marketing.
Good morning. So it's been quite a change from last month. Kevin and I have been much busier. We've had 15 tours, triad visits, and meetings with prospective residents since the last time we met. 5 of them from right here in Lexington, others from Southport, North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Fairfield, Virginia, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, I know, exotic, right? Boulder, Colorado, Tampa, Florida, Rockbridge, Baths, Virginia, Hudson, New York, Churchville, Virginia, and Midlothian, Virginia. So we also just want to extend a huge thank you to everyone who has graciously offered to open their homes and share their experiences with our Triad guests and tours. You really help paint a genuine picture of life at Kendall, and that really makes a difference. It really helps reinforce why our community stands out and why they should join our wait list. And thanks again so much, and I'm going to hand it over to Kevin with an exciting update on our waitlist numbers.
Good morning. So all of those tours, triads, and meetings resulted in 7 new waitlist memberships since the last Residents Association meeting. And those folks came from Aurora, Ohio, Rockbridge, Baths, Middletown, New York, Southport, North Carolina, Apple Valley, Minnesota, Richmond, Virginia, and Stanton, Virginia. So those 7 bring us to a year-to-date new waitlist members of 43, couples and singles. Our goal for this year was 40, by the way, so we're doing well. That brings us to a grand total of 237 waitlist members, couples and singles, 76 of whom say they're ready now. And let's see, we've had, since the last meeting, we've had 2 closing meetings. David and Melissa Cox, who will be moving into Cottage 1003, but not till sometime next year. And Bill and Zora Jenkins, who will be moving into apartment 3 today. So they're not in the room right now because they're at their house in Lexington with the moving company, putting all their stuff on a truck. But that truck will come here sometime later today, and they'll be sleeping in apartment 3 tonight if all goes well. Apartment 102 has been reserved, and we're continuing to make calls on apartment 316. And that's everything we have for marketing. I believe Candace is up next.
Yes. I'll do my best. Hello, everybody. The microphone's way over my face, so hopefully everybody can hear me okay. I'm not a professional with this. Can you hear me? Hello, hello. It's not on. Is it on? Hello? Can you guys hear me okay now?
I'll try it.
Hello. Well, good morning. My name is Candace Little, for those that do not know me. I'm primarily with the dietary department. I'm in place of Jen today. As everybody knows, she's out in Delaware at the TKC Culinary Gathering. She will be out for the next 2 weeks. So if anybody needs anything, I'm a good point person to come to, or Kelsey Deacon or Michael in the kitchen. A few highlights to talk about. We have a new continental breakfast grab and go cafe. I'm hearing a lot of really good feedback from many residents. I think that we're offering a lot of fresh new options that are pretty exciting, and they will continue to grow. Let's see. We also will be having a ice cream social on October 22nd, and we will be trying a new flavor. Both Borden and Webster residents have been invited, and our new flavor will be a peanut butter caramel cookie dough. And one more update, our next kitchen tour is scheduled for October 28th. This and the November tours are full, but there are still a couple of slots open for December 9th tour. You can sign up at the register in the dining room. And our final notification, the next restaurant tasting and new menu start date are scheduled for the end of October, and Jen will get more information out soon. Okay, thank you.
This is so unfair that I have to follow announcements about an ice cream social and stuff. My list is not going to be as entertaining. So I'll go down a quick update of some projects, and then I'll take any questions or anything at the end from y'all. I don't actually have a whole lot of big projects to update you on. As you know, it's budget season. So my life right now is spreadsheets and calculators instead of big projects. But we did knock out the seasonal mowing of our meadow areas. You may know that we right now are on schedule to mow those twice a year. And our October mowing was started. It was not completed because part of the mower broke. We're fixing the mower, and then we'll resume that when we get the parts in. The third floor north exhaust projects, the bathroom exhaust fans in those apartments, as you may know, each have their own little motor blower up in the attic, and a whole bunch of them have failed recently. We had to train HVAC engineers here yesterday working with our folks to redesign that system. So it's not fixed yet, but we have some sketches and ideas of how we're going to reconnect that and get those exhaust fans working. The VRF HVAC system, we've received the cost proposal from the outside engineers. So that project is slowly moving through the various gates we have to do on that. Columbia Gas and State Corporation Commission. You've heard me talk about how in the eyes of the state, we're a pipeline company because we distribute gas across our own property, and we're trying to get out from under that regulatory requirement. Columbia Gas engineers will be here tomorrow with us walking and looking at where our lines are, how many meters and all that, to start working up their proposal for us to have individual meters and them be the pipeline operators that they already are. And then we will simply be users with our own meters. That will make the SCC very happy if we're able to pull that off. And a placeholder for that project is in the current draft of the budget that we worked on as well. So we're working out through the process, and I think we'll have the resources to do it when that comes through. The ATC fire alarm changeover continues. They're actually, knock on wood, a little bit ahead of schedule of where they thought they would be. But we've had to do a couple change orders where we find things that may have been code when it was built, but it doesn't meet current code. And we're not necessarily required to change it based on the amount of fixtures we have, but we're bringing it up to the current 2025 stuff anyway as we're in the spaces. So just a few more spots have been added and some changes over for the panel. I think January 1st, we're on track for a complete changeover from the existing Simplex Johnson control system to the new fire protection system that we have now. Certain zones are completely done. I think we'll be out from under Johnson Controls January 1st or so. The dog park trail down by that retention pond on the way to the dog park had some comments and feedback from several residents about the erosion and the steepness and the exposed surface there was treacherous, especially when it was wet. We did what I'll describe as a short-term repair to that. We rented a piece of equipment, changed the slope, added some fill and made it a little less steep, and then put some rock and some crush and run surface on there now so it wouldn't be muddy or slippery landscape fabric. I do have a placeholder in the current draft capital budget for next year for that entire trail to be improved. What we'll probably end up doing is putting berms or railroad ties around the end and filling the whole thing with rock and crush and run. What's there's now will last for a while, but since it's uncontained on the edges, over time it will erode and wash away. So we have a bigger project on the wish list to do a longer term fix to that. Last week, you may have seen the lights blink a couple times. We had the generator folks here working with us and a local electrical contractor doing some work primarily in support of Webster. We have a megawatt worth, our two big generators. We have 4 generators, but even just our 2 big ones are a megawatt of generation back there, but they're not connected to a whole lot, which is good because you can run them at low load for a long time without burning a lot of fuel in an outage. But Webster identified some things that they wanted on emergency power and some outlets in locations where there currently weren't ones. So in support of their request, we're working with our electrical contractor, had to do some adjustments to figure out what's where and where the actual connections run. And then we'll be adding some additional linkages to our existing generators to support Webster during an electrical outage. We've had a couple more sewer backups. I sent out a mass email to the residents. Hopefully you all saw that. It's nothing new. We've talked about it before. Please, the only thing that should go down the toilets is waste and toilet paper. Please don't flush electronic devices or massive amounts of food waste or cat litter or things like that. We continue to have some pretty big backups. We caught the last 2 promptly, so we did not have a whole lot of damage, but it seems the folks who live downstream of the piping seem to pay the price for folks upstream. So I just ask everyone's awareness and support. Please be cognizant of what you flush down the lines. It causes us some pretty disruptive, unpleasant problems. And last on my list is the Kendall Hall HVAC system, heat pump number 8 that services this space, died about 10 days ago. We've done repairs for about a year, trying to limp it along. We've given up on that. We have a new one ordered. They quoted a 6 to 8 week lead time for the water source heat pump that provides both heating and cooling to this space. So you'll notice most of the time we're keeping all the doors open in here. The hallways and everything around this still have full HVAC support. Just this single zone does not. So if we have a hot day, hopefully we're past those. It might get a little warm in here. We're keeping the doors open. I've also reorganized our energy improvement priority, and tomorrow and Friday, the guys are going to be blowing the additional insulation into the attic here, which wasn't scheduled to happen yet. But as we start to get into colder weather, that should buy us a little more time and be able to coast a little more comfortably in here until the new system comes in that I can install. That is my list. Any questions or anything I missed I can answer for y'all. It is going to be an easy, short meeting today. Okay. Who's next? Adam's next. Thanks.
That's good.
Okay, I'd like to start with a quick update from Health Services. So we are currently in the process of hiring for both Borden and Webster, our nurse manager positions. So these are key leadership position within our team. And so we're being thoughtful in the selection process to ensure the best fit for our residents, staff, and overall community. I'm hopeful that by this time next month, we'll be able to introduce the new hires in person. Next are a few reminders about our support and education programs this month. So our Grief to Growth support led in partnership with Connections Plus Hospice will meet next Wednesday, October 22nd from 3 to 4 p.m. in Sunnyside. So this is a wonderful opportunity for anyone who has experienced loss or change to come together, share, and support one another in a comfortable, caring environment. In addition, our Dementia Caregivers Support Group meets this Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the Staff Development Room. This month's topic is how to speak to those with dementia, and we'll include a short educational video from Teepa Snow, one of the nation's leading dementia care experts. So even if you're not currently in a caregiving role, the session offers meaningful insight into communications and understanding that can benefit everyone in the community. Lastly, I want to update you all on the VDH guidance on COVID-19 and seasonal flu. The main takeaway is that if you have fever, cough, congestion, or other cold-like symptoms, please limit contact and let staff know right away. For residents, and this is across independent, assisted, and skilled nursings, please stay in your room if you have a fever or respiratory symptoms, but you can resume normal activities 24 hours after your fever resolves without medication and symptoms improve. But please wear a mask for 5 days after recovery. And also, please remember to stay up to date with your COVID-19 and flu vaccines. And we will continue to adjust masking and visitation practices as needed based on the illness trends within our community. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or feedback. Thank you. Any questions at this time? Bruce Summers.
Adam, some of us might not know who the nurse managers are.
Mhm.
So could you be more concrete, like who's leaving?
Yes.
Who's going to be replaced?
So in Webster, Amanda Bartley, she has left. She's the nurse manager. And so we are in the process of hiring for that position. And then in Borden, Dalen Hyder, it will be leaving next week. So we're in the process of both those positions. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, next time. CDRI.
Good morning. I don't know that that was the first or probably the last Adam confusion, but couple updates. Just to let you know, I think you may have read in Connections, we had a board retreat on Saturday, so the day went well. We spent some time looking at our mission, and I think it's a great springboard as we begin to look at strategic planning. So just wanted to let you know we had a great day. We had some wonderful facilitators, and it was a great kind of collaborative interaction time with the board and the strategic planning committee and some key staff members. Todd alluded to this a little bit about the apartment building HVAC issues. So we did get a proposal to begin some additional evaluation and schematic design. We executed that proposal. We're starting to work on scheduling that work. And we are still targeting a spring construction timeline. So we're going to keep pushing on this as fast as we can and hopefully get to resolution very, very quickly. And just my apologies for being a little late for this. We are working through some phone interviews with CFO candidates. So that's where I was. We're wrapping up a interview. I just, you always put that on your calendar for an hour. I don't know why. Should have been an hour and a half, but it did. But anyway, we've had some good luck. We've had some great conversations with people, and we're just going to be working through that process. So you'll hear more about that in the days and weeks to come. That is all I have this morning, but I am happy to take questions if anyone has any for me. Okay, that's a good sign. I think that's a good sign. Then did Felicia? Does anyone?
Lost control of that.
Okay, we clearly lost control. Felicia, did you have anything you would like to add this morning? She's not. She's ignoring me. That happens. Do you have anything you'd like to add this morning? No. Okay. All right. I think we're done.
Next up.
Think the mic's working.
One thing Adam didn't mention is where did he have this retreat? What beach area, what beach resort did you spend a week golfing? Oh, he's gonna tell us.
I'm still fairly pale. I know, so we were nowhere where there was sun.
There's please do not blame Vic for the problems we're having in this high-tech equipment that we have. You know, we have the latest high-tech equipment, and that's why it never works on time. But I think we need to rename Kendall Hall the Vic Crane Memorial Hall for all the work he's currently doing. We could provide a small cot in the back for him to sleep to keep him in shape here. Anyway, thanks, Vic, for trying to keep everything. I guess it's still working. One thing I want to mention is about 3 weeks ago, we had an outing with a bus. We took people to the event, and the bus left behind 2 of our residents. This is an unfortunate occurrence, which we don't like to happen, but it did happen. Luckily, this couple was able to find another resident who happened to be driving to the event, and they were able to run down with their canes high up in the air and get a ride back to Kendall. Luckily, they were just in Lexington, so they didn't have far to drive. But it was a long walk back from the Lexington here to Kendall. So when you're on the bus, please look around, be aware of who's on the bus when we go there. If you see the bus is full or somebody's sitting next to you or in front or behind you, and they don't happen to be there when you're leaving, please say something. You know, the driver is not responsible for determining that the bus is ready to go. I mean, hopefully he does check, but you know, he'll leave whenever he thinks everyone's on board. So it's up to us to say, hey, wait a minute, where is so-and-so? Now, occasionally, somebody may not want to take the bus back. I don't know why, but for some reason, and make sure if you're one of that person, you tell somebody on the bus, I'm not coming back on the bus, so somebody knows that there's going to be an empty space there. I've also instructed if one of the members of the C&E committee is on the bus, they are going to be the bus captain. And if I'm on the bus, I'm the bus captain. I'm going to make sure we have the same count coming back that we had coming in. So please be aware of it. But everyone should be aware and make it known if you see somebody's missing. Anyway. So we have a few things. Tonight we're going to Clifton Forge to see the Scottish dancers, the singers, and the bagpipers. If you're still interested in doing that, it's getting kind of late, but we still have tickets available if you want to sign up. Better to see me right away because we're leaving tonight at 6. There's a new addition to the calendar. There's going to be a Metropolitan Opera live in Kendall Hall on Saturday at 1 p.m. for the opera buffs. I just added that to the calendar. And just be aware that every time there's a change to the calendar, I post a new calendar. And I generally will change the date. So just because you read the calendar 2 days ago, 3 days ago, it probably has changed. So if you want to know what the latest of everything, please continue to check the calendar. We have a pretty full bus for.
Well, when you say the calendar, do you mean a physical calendar?
The C&E calendar.
Which is on the board?
It's on the C&E bulletin board.
Casey also get the update?
The who?
Casey. Kendall Connect, Casey?
You know, Kendall Connection, on the 15th of every month, I provide, Kendall Connect. Who knows? I mean, there's so many people I have to keep updated. The latest thing is on the October calendar, but I realize that I have to keep Karen updated. I have to keep a few other people updated. There's about 5 people I'm supposed to update each time. It gets very complicated, but this is the most recent. If it's on the C&E board, that's the most recent. but I'll try to keep everyone else updated. The Monticello trip, we have a pretty full bus for that, so we're in good shape for that. The scenic drive on the Blue Ridge Parkway with lunch at Peaks of Otter, that bus is pretty full as well. In fact, I don't think there's any openings on that. And on November, we have a pretty busy week. The first week in November, we have the WNL University Wind Ensemble on Monday. We have the Halstone Dancers coming here to Kendall Hall on Tuesday. We have Kendall College coming on Wednesday, and we have another concert, a jazz concert at WNL on Thursday. That whole week is pretty full. So if you're interested in going to any of those, please sign up on the bus if there is a bus. And luckily, we have the Rough Around the Edges is coming on the 18th. They used to be called the Sunrise Ridge Boys, but then they got Becky as one of their members, and so they cannot call themselves the Sunrise Ridge Boys anymore. And Becky does not live on Sunrise Ridge, so now they're called the Rough Around the Edges. It's the same people, the same band. They're going to be performing for us in Kendall Hall on the 18th. And then another new addition I just added, there's a play over at Southern Virginia University on the 20th. It's called the Thanksgiving Play. It's basically a comedy, and anything the Southern Virginia University does, the theater group does, is excellent. So that's available for you as well to sign up. So that's what's going on. I have one other thing. Sarah Gettings, sitting right there, she said there's going to be, WL is having a bus to Richmond for WNL students. And I guess there's room on the bus for Kendall residents. So if you're interested in going to Richmond on the 3rd, Monday, the 3rd of November, the 2nd, Sunday the 2nd, going to Richmond to visit the museums, and you want to get on this bus from WNL, you better talk to Sarah right after this meeting here. So anybody else have any additions? Yes?
Event on the 1st of November, which is Saturday. It's a dinner.
I can't, what is she talking about?
And we've gone every year. Bus takes us.
The Collinsville supper. Yeah, I haven't put that on the calendar yet, so as soon as I get information from that, it'll be on the November calendar. And I think that's going to be on the, I can't hear. So you have a mic? You can, anyway, I'll add that to the calendar as soon as they provide me with an email on that. If I don't get an email, then it's not going on the calendar. So, but anyway, I'm trying to keep it up to date. I think the October calendar has been updated about 5 times already this month, and we're only halfway through the month. So as soon as something new comes in, I will update the calendar. So that's the latest, and I hope we get the latest someday on Kendall Connect as well. Yes, ma'am, sir.
Is today's lecture postponed?
Kendall College is speaking next, and he's going to talk about the changes, the postponement of one of the lectures. Is that correct? Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
What is the opera? What is the opera? The name.
Opera. If you check the CNA bulletin board, there's a poster on the opera there. Yeah, it's Italian, I think. I can't pronounce it, but it's posted there. So these were. Well, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Good morning. So there's no confusion. What's this? Thank you. And thank you, Paul, for warming up the mic. The most recent mic is now warm, thanks to Paul, and he's even left me a little time. I have 3 things to bring to your attention here this morning. First, our Kendall College program scheduled for this evening has to be delayed a week. The whole program of tonight and the next 3 weeks will be starting next Wednesday and going through Wednesday, the 5th of November. Same schedule as reported, but just a week later. The problem is that our speaker, Jill Fraley, law professor and constitutional law expert, came down with a bit of bronchitis Monday. She thought it would get better yesterday. It actually got a little worse. And she said she could speak and be heard through a mic, but she didn't think it was fair to try and come and bring those germs into Kendall Hall. So we postponed it all 1 week. Her first lecture then next week will be on executive power. On November 12, we will have another Kendall College. That is the first of our series of novels being presented that afternoon. The novel is The Great Gatsby by Scott Fitzgerald. The presenter is James Lambert, the new director of lifelong learning at Washington and Lee. I expect him to be terrific. He's interested in Kendall College, made that clear, although he's only been here on the W&L payroll since July 1st. There will be an article about his appearance in the November issue of Collections. Not corrections, collections, right? And it will have in it, Elsa, do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to say something. Go ahead and finish what you were.
Okay. In the article will be a link to a podcast that James Lambert did, sort of introducing himself to the W&L community, since he lives in Lexington. He came from being provost at Southern Virginia, just 6 miles away. But the podcast, I'm told, is really a splendid introduction, and it will let you know who it is who will be speaking on November the 12th. Okay. Third, now Elsa.
Sorry, I just wanted to say the library has acquired a copy of The Great Gatsby. However, you won't yet find it in the catalog. We just got, as of yesterday, a new computer for the library. This has caused me some upset, if you will. So I'm hoping to have that book processed and out for circulation on Thursday afternoon. So anyway, but we do have it.
Let me say something further about books for the novel series. The first one is, as I said, it's The Great Gatsby, and Elsa has explained where a few extra copies might be made available, right? Be available to you. The second one in December is Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn, and some people think that might be a little difficult to obtain. Rob Fury, who has put that program together, is going to acquire or have the Bookery, which is still in business, have a few copies ordered so that they'll be available for you to read it if you don't find Huckleberry Finn somewhere else.
We do own Huckleberry Finn. It's probably on the shelf at this point, but someone may have checked it out.
But there's probably only one copy. And the third one in January is Beloved, and Beloved is very difficult now apparently to find. And Rob has already ordered, and the Bookery should have copies of Beloved by Toni Morrison if you want to get a jump on that one, which is in early January. Okay, now answering further a question that was raised. I'm sorry.
On books, both Huck Finn and The Great Gatsby are available for free from Project Gutenberg online if you want to read it in an electronic book. So you can get them there if you need them.
Mark, Huckleberry Finn and what?
At the Great Gatsby.
Okay, but not Beloved.
Oh, I haven't checked that one yet.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize I had so many supporters of our book issue. Thirdly, you'll remember a month ago at our, what was last month, September meeting, Sally Nunnally raised the question of whether or not we could have annual fee for coming to Kendall College programs so that she and others who are interested wouldn't have to write but one check a year. And the committee met, and we have added that as an option for those of you who want to do that. You don't have to do it. You can still do a $10 per person check for each program as it comes up. Programs are typically 3 in number, so you write a $20 check for 2 people for 3 programs. The cost will be $60 a year. It will be payable in January, starting this coming January. And the $60 will cover 6 programs. We may not have as many as 6, although we already have 5 arranged for 2026. So I think there'll be more, and we're only through June. And if there are more programs, your $60 will cover all the programs that you want to attend during that calendar year. Any questions about that? Sally gives me a thumbs up. Okay, any other questions? Thank you very much.
I want to let you know that C&E occasionally will defer to the needs of Kendall College. Now, I had already scheduled Sue Pipo to give a lecture here on the 5th of November at 4 o'clock, but due to the change in Kendall College, they respectfully asked if we could defer her lecture so that Kendall College could continue with their lectures.
College, 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and during the course of the meeting, we checked with Karen Miller, who keeps the schedule, and she said the November 5 date was okay. It's clear for us. So you must have gotten it in there.
He obviously did not look at the C&E bulletin board for the latest, but anyway, we will always try to help out Kendall College in any way we can.
Let's move on to the holiday prayer.
Right. I'd like to follow up before I start on the craft fair. Adam Day mentioned that we had had a retreat. Yes, there it is. Does that work now? Yeah. Adam mentioned that we had had a board retreat. And I know I might be repeating for some, but for others, because we have a turnover of people here, I wanted to say that there are 3 residents who are also on the Kendall board, and this is unusual. So Tom Goss and Bruce Summers and I and Vic on the Strategic Planning Committee were at that. And I think that it would be beneficial if we talked a little bit more, maybe at a further meeting, about the role of residents and the interaction with the Kendall board, because we have a voice in the decisions that are made for the Kendall board. So anyway, I think it's a very good system that we have. But to talk about the holiday craft fair, we are coming up to the first weekend in December, and we're making a lot of plans. Many of you have turned in an application that you would like to have a table at this. We are delighted that we have had responses and that we have many staff members who are also going to be participating in this. These are due by the end of this month, so if you haven't filled one out, please do. We also have at this a hands-on table, which is if you're a resident or a staff member and you've made a few things but not enough to have a table. We welcome those to the table as well. Then the other part of this is we need to start letting everyone know about the craft fair. We do a lot of talking about it here at Kendall, but it's also important so we have people come to the craft fair to know about it. We'll be putting out posters around and about in the community, and we have many of these to pass out to people. We appreciate your help on getting people to come and participate on those 2 days, the 5th and 6th of December. So thank you very much, and we appreciate the input that all of you give to this community.
And we
Yep.
have an addition to the agenda? Oh, I was just saying thank you to you. We've got somebody else coming up.
Yeah.
I apologize because I didn't formally get on the agenda, but I want to just pass on a few comments about something that is so positively viewed by our residents as well as our staff, and that is the Fall Staff Appreciation Fund Drive. It will begin before the next Resident Association meeting. All of you all will receive detailed instructions on what's involved, how to do it, when to do it. And ultimately, it will end up in late in November and early December, we'll have a staff appreciation party. The last time we had a goal of $110,000. That was in our spring, summer fund drive. We actually collected over 142. This time our goal is going to be somewhere in between, given we have more staff, more residents, and inflation is ticking along. So look forward to receiving. Everybody will receive it in their Anderson mailbox. It'll be bulletin board. They'll be mailed out, etc. If you ever have any questions, pose it to the resident council. We're the ones who are driving this. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you so much. Look forward.
So that brings us to the end of the agenda. Anything that need to come up from the floor? Then we're done for another day. See you next month.